my future career as a recording engineer with a little bit of a twist. So here's a little background. I've been a producer for 7 years. I started when I was 14 years old. I come from a family of very intense musicians, a father who graduated with a master's in performance, and 2 grandparents who graduated from Juilliard. I have quite a bit of work in the industry already before attending Full Sail. I worked in Manhattan at a company called Primary Wave. Primary Wave is an entertainment company, and they have all departments ranging from the production side of the industry all the way to the A&R and the business side. I'm a classically trained multi-instrumentalist. I play 5 instruments, main instruments. And I think to most people, my career goal seems more like a fantasy. So my career goal is really to be an all-in-one engineer, producer, and artist, and I know that some people seem to think that's a little ridiculous, but in going to Hall of Fame 9, I got to sit through a presentation. It was actually a mix breakdown by Jordan Young, and he's known as DJ Swivel, and his story is very similar to mine, so I'm just going to show you a quick clip from that.
When I started my career, I wanted to be a producer. I didn't come to Full Sail to necessarily be an engineer. I came to learn about engineering and that so that I could be a better producer. And then when I got into the industry, I thought, well, I should intern at a studio because that's going to get me closer to artists and blah, blah, blah. And what I found out is learning the craft of engineering and mixing made me an infinitely better producer, like by far. And so now, since I started as a producer, now when I mix, I add a lot of those production elements to a song that other mixers might not want to do or may not have the ear for and whatnot. So it's not just about mixing now. I'm directing the vocal performances and adding background vocals. I make sure I'm very careful about where and when I do it, but I know most mixers aren't going to go and do that. I'll have no problem changing drums. On the Chainsmokers album, there's a song that I wrote on, and that wasn't because I was asked to come in and write. That was because, the song needed some help in some certain areas, and I started humming a melody, and Drew really liked it, and then he added some lyrics to that, and it was just part of the collaborative process. So I think what separates me is my ability to act as both producer and mixer at the same time.
So as you can see by that little clip, he says he acts as both producer and engineer at the same time. That is exactly what my goal is, and it's something that differentiates him as an artist and as a producer and an engineer. It's something that not a lot of people are able to do. And so I'm definitely going to use that to be able to market myself in the future. So working towards the future, I have a couple things set up already. The first of which is another job back in New York City at the same company that I worked for before Full Sail, Primary Wave, and I'm going to try to join their production team. The second thing is a partnership in Nashville with actually a friend of mine. His name is Ryan Ball, and he has a production team that he's got put together, and that was just something that we've been discussing for years and years. And then also a potential position as an engineer in Virginia, and that was actually given to me by 2 Full Sail graduates who I met while I was doing a session in the Audio Temple, and they had discussed the possibility with me because they thought that my engineering was very, very good. But again, all those things will be working towards trying to be the singer, songwriter, producer, and engineer. So in doing research for project and portfolio, I came across 3 people who I thought were very interesting. The first of which is Eric Henry, and Eric is involved in marketing. Erin Waltz. Erin is a game sound design engineer, and then Ann Powers, and she's in journalism. She also was a pop songwriter for most of her life. But I had to connect my future career with their careers and how I can basically find the importance in what they're doing and use it to get to where I need to be. And the marketing is really important because he's able to connect with artists on a personal level to help them succeed, and that's something I'm going to have to be doing for myself. I don't even understand myself on a personal level yet, so I'll definitely need to kind of understand how other people view me as an artist to do that. Game sound design, I found that interesting just because sound design in general not necessarily for the games, but just being able to create an atmosphere, to create a soundscape that is able to play with people's minds, because there are sections of a game where you'll hear the music for a long period of time. Maybe you'll be in that zone for a half hour straight, and they need to be able to write music that keeps the actual listener involved, you know? And then the journalism side is important just because you have to understand how to describe yourself, how to write about yourself, your music, what you're doing, and other people as well. And it kind of goes along with marketing. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for coming to the presentation, and have a good evening.